In Color Efex Pro 4, we can not only add one filter to an image, but we can also multiply up and have various different effects created by multiplying filters together. So for instance, in this image from Scott Stuhlberg, let's start off by applying Detail Extractor to our image. Straight away you can see more detail being brought out in the image if you compare that to the original. And we can have a look at perhaps some of the other options that were available to us under visual presets. So we can see here how we can have real dramatic end results on our image. Some obviously a little bit too artistic, but perhaps that's a more realistic type result there as far as that image is concerned. Now, however, by using the Add Filter button on the right-hand side, we can add in extra effects. So let's go down our list here and choose to add in Indian Summer at this particular point. As you can see, this converts greens to orangey reds in the background to give it that sort of burnt out end of summer look, really. That's starting to make this a bit of a different effect from that original style of the image. Let's continue though, and let's add in another filter at this particular juncture. So let's go down and pop in here a vignette blur. Now this gives it a sort of a loved up feel, which perhaps is a bit inappropriate for this particular animal. So let's first of all recenter that vignette on the nose of the animal there. And then let's increase the radius or the size which is being applied on, so it's just extending that out so it's further out from the center point there. And it's actually really just sort of drop that down. So it's only a very soft and subtle effect being applied in there if we needed it at all. So very subtly being dropped in at the edges basically. So quite happy with that now. And perhaps at this stage let's add a final filter onto this. You can generally speaking go up to about 15 filters, but it does depend on the computer that you're working on basically. So let's pop up here to image borders and pop a border around the outside edge of this particular image. You can see here we've started off by just clipping the edge of that border, so let's increase the size of the border just to make sure we're not inclement on the antlers of the animal there. And let's have a look at the different styles again. We've got lots of different styles of border here. So that sort of cut-edged or burnt-edged type is quite nice there to give a bit of a key line around the outside edge of the animal there. Of course, at any stage we can go back into our previously applied filters here. So I can go back into Detail Extractor and, for instance, choose maybe only to apply that detail extraction to the animal itself and not to the surrounding outside areas. So really making quite a dramatic difference to our image there, really making that animal stand out but not the rest of the image area. Of course, another thing we can do is actually reorder our image filters as well. So for instance, in this case where I've got the image border as being the last filter applied, I could, for instance, if I wanted to, change that such that I've got that vignette blur being applied to the image border. So all I need to do is just pick up that image border filter and just pop it up on top of the vignette blur. And there now you can see we've got effectively that vignette blur being applied to the edge of the border. So it gives it a bit more of a, perhaps an artistic effect there as far as that's concerned. So there we are. That's 4 filters being applied very quickly to our original image.